Welcome to my channel, and I'm back with you once again with another video of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Nowadays I'm exploring the Airbus A310, which is the default plane for the Microsoft Flight Simulator, and in this regard I'm doing a series of videos in which I'm trying to break down all the information into different videos, so it's easy for you to look for a specific information on my channel. And plus I will also upload a complete video tutorial for this video on my channel, which you can just go and watch. This is going to be the fourth one in which I will tell you how to fly this plane on autopilot. And that's it. It's easy for this plane, although the beginners they might find it a bit difficult to interact with this plane because it's a bit complex. It's a study level plane, so that's why there are so many things to do. But if you learn how to fly this plane, then you will be able to do the flights on A330, and then obviously the Airbus A320 will be really a simplified version of this plane for you, because it's an old plane. It was, I think, launched in 1983. So it's been a long time this plane was launched, and but doing the flights with this plane is really interesting. So right now I'm at Riyadh Airport, the King Khalid International Airport. I will be doing a flight to Abu Dhabi International Airport, and it's going to be a short flight, roughly 2 hours. And right now I've set the cockpit. If you haven't watched the videos how to configure the MCD of this plane or to start this plane from the cold and dark state, that these two videos are there. The link is given in the description. You can always just go and watch it. I'm plus also on the Twitch channel. You can just go on my Twitch channel. You can follow me for the live sessions. So let's now release the parking brakes and start the taxi. Just give throttle in such a way that your N1 reaches to 30%. It's a good thrust, and the speed remains under control. I'm keeping it at 31. The sounds of this plane are really amazing. If you have got some nice, good big speakers, you will also enjoy the sounds of this plane. Just make sure this taxi line is over here in the middle. I think I'm just like on the middle line. You can see it's there. So this is the estimate that I do between these two buttons. I always keep it over here. Even during the landing, if you keep the line over here, then you will be centered with the line. So it's easy. Now I can just turn left on the taxiway. I have to go all the way to runway 33 right. I will just stop before the runway and we'll just take you through the standard instrument departure, just take you quickly through the charts in order to tell you that once you take off, then what are the things that you have to consider. Now let's turn left from here for the runway. .33 right. I will be also flying on I think the 2nd of May. I'm going to Pakistan, so I will be here at this airport. So just hold short over here of the runway and just apply the parking brakes. Just make sure the parking brakes are on, and as soon as you turn on the parking brakes, you can see this pressure also goes up. So you can look at the ECAM. The continuous relight is on, and the parking brake is on. Seatbelt signs are on. No smoking signs are on. Landing lights are extended. I can always turn on the landing lights, because you have to have bright lights. Set the nose light to take off. If you have bright lights, then the planes can easily identify you from the distance, even in the morning. Okay, so this is one thing. Now you can see the speed is also set for the V2, and you have the altitude set to 20,000. So first of all, let's have a look at the standard instrument departure. So this is the standard instrument departure, and I'm using Navigraph subscription. That's why I have got access to the charts. If you don't have the Navigraph subscription, you can always try to look for these airport charts on the internet. If you can find them, then it's good. Otherwise, you have to get the subscription so that you can access the charts. It's very important to have the charts, because This makes this the flying on Microsoft Flight Simulator really a big fun. So just right after the takeoff, you can see this is the line that I will be following to depart out of the King Khalid International Airport. Oops, sorry. I just changed the orientation of the chart. Let me just fix it. Okay. Now, this is something interesting. Okay, if you press the right mouse, it changes. Okay, so after this point, the plane will go to bottom. 2,900 should be the altitude minimum. And then because there is a line below, so it means you have to be above 2,900 or maybe at 2,900. Then similarly, Rima, 7,000 and above. But at Keebol, you should be below 20,000 because the line is above over here. And then after this, you have to climb again to 20,000. The maximum speed for this point is 250 knots. So right now you can see there is no speed constraint coming over here, but it's a speed constraint over here. So you have to follow this speed constraint as well, and plus the altitude constraints. That's it. And the transition altitude is 13,000. So after this altitude, I will be changing the barometric pressure from the given one to the standard. So you can see over here on the FCU, the flight control unit, I have set the altitude to 20,000 feet. The heading for the takeoff is 327. So let's say even after the takeoff, I don't want to fly on the nav mode. I want to go with the heading select mode. The heading is always there. But I will be using the nav mode, and the plane will actually follow the flight plan. Just make sure that this is set to nav, and this control is set to map so that you can see the flight plan. Right now it was set to plan. So now I can see the flight plan. Then turn on the constraints as well. You will see all the constraints during the flight. If there is any speed constraint, you will also see it. And if there is any altitude constraint, you can see it. 2,900 A means above. 7,000 A means above. That's it. So that's it. I've turned on all the lights, and you can see all the lights are off over here. It means everything is good. There's no issue. We have turned on all the lights. The seatbelt signs are on. Everything is good. Above 10,000 feet, I will also turn off the seatbelt signs. That's it. So let's now release the parking brakes, and let's take this plane up in the air. As soon as I'm on the runway, I will just move N1 to 50%, and then I will turn on the auto throttle. I will press this button. No need to move the throttle levers on your controller. Just press this button, and the auto throttle will be activated, and then the plane will actually adjust the throttle accordingly during the flight. You really don't have to worry about it. There are some controls over here related to throttle. I will also take you through these controls. So simply turn left, and that's it. So let's give a little bit of thrust. And let's press this button, and then you can see auto thrust is now active, and that's it. (138) is the VR, and at this speed I will rotate and lift this plane up in the air. That's it. And now I can just pull back on the yoke, lift this plane up in the air. I have a positive rate of climb, so I can just track the gears. And you can see the plane has now crossed the speed F, so I can just retract the flaps by one notch. Now I will have 0 flaps and 1 slat, because this is the speed at which I can fly with one slat, with slat position at position 1 or 15 degrees. Now even this plane, the speed has crossed this speed. I can always retract the slats. Now with this, I can turn on the autopilot, and now you can see the autopilot is now on, and that's it. Now this is the green dot speed, as you can see it over here. This is the speed at which the plane can still fly with 0 slats and 0 flaps, but now the speed is reducing. You can see it's going down. I can always extend the flaps, and now you can see the speed is now increasing. So just to show you, if the speed goes down, you can always have your slats. But right now you can see now the speed is increasing, as you can see it over here. In this color 250, this speed is coming, so the plane will actually stabilize at 250. It will just keep on going at the speed of 250 till the point where I have to be above 20,000 feet, as I've shown you before in the standard instrument departure. Now this is the green dot speed. The plane can fly without slats, without flaps, and this is the target speed. The target altitude is 20,000, as said by me. The plane is in the profile mode, so it's following the flight path, and plus the speed is also controlled by the autopilot. So this is kind of a little bit of introduction of the autopilot. It's really easy. If you really don't want to do anything else, just leave it like this, and the plane will keep on climbing, and it will keep on following the flight plan. And there you go. It was easy. Flying the plane on autopilot is easy. But once you start doing all these interactions with the level change and altitude hold and heading select, then it gets a bit difficult. But in these series of videos, I will just try to make it easy for you, and I will just try to tell you how to interact with them. For this video, I will not go into the level change and altitude hold or auto throttle, but the next video that I will do during the descent, where I will tell you how to do the descent management, it will be covered over there in that part. But for this part, I will just tell you that if you have to follow an altitude constraint, how you follow that altitude constraint. Now you can see this arrow is coming, which shows that by this point you will be at this altitude, the given one, 20,000. As you can see, at Rima, you should be above 7,000 feet. We are way above this given constraint, so it's good. And right now you can see this button is set to auto. The plane will actually go into different throttle modes during the flight. This is, you can see it says as climb, so which means the right now the thrust is in the climb position. And then once the plane is at the cruising altitude, it will go to cruise. So the different throttle settings, you can just consult it over here. And nothing else required. All the flaps and slats are up now. Be above 10,000 feet. I can turn off the seatbelt signs, and I can turn off the lights. I can set it to nav. Nav light has to be on, but turn off the logo. Runway turn off lights, just leave them off. Beacon should be in the on position. Strobe is set to auto. As soon as I land and I'm off the land and off the runway, the strobe will turn off. Nose light, we don't need it. Move it to off. And landing lights also retract and off. That's it. And wing light off. Now all the lights are off, and after crossing 13,000 feet, I can set the altitude to standard. In order to set the standard, I have to simply pull it. Just bring your mouse over here. As soon as you see this down arrow, just move it to standard, and you will see it has changed across the panels over here on the Copilot side over here, because this is the setting where it is link instruments. I've turned it on. If you turn it off, then you have to do it individually for all the three units, meters. That's it. Now you can see the plane is climbing as because the vertical speed is changing. This is the indicator for the vertical speed. Right now you can see it's more than 2,000 feet. Because the plane actually during the climb gives priority to the speed. So if the plane is climbing at a very high rate, then the speed gets compromised. So in order to maintain the speed, the vertical speed keeps on adjusting throughout the climb and throughout the descent. So that's why this top of climb keeps on changing as per the vertical speed. But right now you can see it's stable over here. The plane is passing 70,000 feet, and at this point the plane should be at 20,000 feet or below. So I am going to be at 20,000 and below. I can always change the heading over here. Wherever I'm going, I can always set it to my flight path, so that I don't have to adjust it if I need to fly the plane on a heading. If you want to do it, simply bring your mouse over here. As soon as you see this down button, just click this and the plane will fly in the heading mode. And as soon as you want to get out of the heading mode and fly in the nav mode, simply press this button and the plane will be in the nav mode and will start to fly. Okay, that's it. So now what I've done is this. I have, you can see on the eCam that the outside temperature in the icing range. So we have the anti-icing on as well. and the continuous relight on, engine anti-ice is on. That's it. Outside temperature is also coming right now, 2 degrees centigrade. And now the plane has leveled off at 20,000 feet. You can see it's leveling off. This part of the primary flight display, this is the flight mode annunciator, which basically tells you what the flight mode of the plane is. Right now, it's in the profile mode. The climb is also adjusted by the autopilot, and the speed. So if this plane was properly following these constraints, you could have adjusted this altitude over here to 35,000 feet, and the plane would have automatically leveled off at 20,000 feet over here. And then after this point would have directly started to go to this altitude of 35,000 feet. But I've tried it. It doesn't work. So if I change the altitude right now, the plane will keep on climbing. So we have to adjust the altitude accordingly. But it's maintaining the speed as per the profile. So the speed should not be more than 250 knots, as you can see over here at this point. The speed should not be 250 knots, but you have to be 20,000 and above. So I am at 20,000 feet. And then after this point, Keeble, I can climb to 35,000 feet, because then there is no constraint for the departure. So now, right now, I've set the barometric pressure to standard. The seat belt signs are off. No smoking sign is set to auto. And now you can see the thrust is in the climb mode. Let's wait for it. Now the plane is near this waypoint, Kibol, and I'm at 20,000 feet. Let's wait for it to cross. I can adjust the altitude to 35,000 feet, and then I can start the climb as soon as I cross this point. Just keep your cursor over here in such a way that you see this down arrow, and as soon as you cross this point, just simply press this button, and the plane will again start to climb. You can see that thrust is there. The mode has changed to climb again, and you can see the vertical speed indicator is also going up, and now the plane will actually climb to 35,000 feet. So this is how you do it. You can always press this button, level change. But in level change, the plane doesn't control the speed. You have to do it yourself. You can always press this button, level change as well. Now you can see the speed is also coming, 250. As after this point, you can increase the speed as well. So I will be increasing it. But for the flight level change, remember this thing, that the plane during the climb gives priority to the vertical speed, to the speed that you give. So it adjusts a vertical speed in that way. Now you can see the speed is there. So it means it's giving priority to the speed. Nav is on. It means the plane is following the flight path as per the MCDU. Alt is coming. It means the plane will actually be targeting this altitude, 35,000 feet. So this is how you read the flight mode annunciator. If I turn on the vertical speed, I can also adjust the vertical speed. But in this case, the priority will be given to the vertical speed. Let's see if I just press this and set it to, let's say, 2,000. Now you can see the vertical speed is coming. Now the plane is actually not giving priority to the speed. Maybe if I increase the vertical speed, and vertical speed means the climb rate. So if the climb rate is high, as you can see, it is now going high. The speed is getting compromised, because right now in the flight mode annunciator, vertical speed has the priority. So I can always do this. But in order to take the plane out of the vertical speed mode, I can always press this button, level change, and then the plane will be in level change mode. Now the speed will be given the priority. So that's how you do it. So let's take it to the profile mode as well. The plane will keep on climbing, and it will automatically adjust the speed. As you can see, now we have crossed this point, LTAV. So now the speed will increase, go up to 319 knots. So that's it. Now the plane is climbing to 35,000 feet, and everything is going good. So that's how you actually interact with the autopilot controls during the takeoff and after the takeoff, and how you climb to the given altitude. As now you can see, the speed is increasing. That's why the vertical speed is reduced, but still the plane is climbing. And as soon as the plane reaches the given speed, then the vertical speed will also increase So now the plane will actually level off at 35,000 feet. Can we see it on the navigation display? You can see over here. By this point, the plane will be at the given altitude because the colors match. Okay, so that's how you take this plane up in there, fly the plane on autopilot, and how you interact with the level change and the vertical speed and the speed. So it's easy. It's not that really difficult. You can experiment all this at your own, and then you can fly this plane on autopilot. Now for this video, I'm just going to end it, as I will be then making a third part of it, which will be descent management and ILS approach and landing. I hope this video was a useful one for you. If you want to add anything to this video, the comment section is there for you. And plus, don't forget to follow me on Twitch. I do live flights on Twitch as well. When I'm experimenting and learning a new plane, I'm always on Twitch. So it will be nice to have you around. All the links for this plane, whatever the video I've made, are given in the description. You can always go and follow them. Thank you very much for staying with me. Have a nice day. Hope to see you soon.